This is the Anna Gale Lines podcast, where we equip you with the tools and insights to take charge of your life and thrive. And here is your host, life coach and author, Anna Gale Lines.
Hello, I'm Anna Gale Lines, and thank you for joining me here today. We are diving deep into a topic that has the power to transform our lives in ways that we didn't think possible. It's a concept that can unlock our full potential and reshape the trajectory of our existence. That's right, folks. Today we are talking about taking 100% responsibility for our lives. So every day I see people not taking responsibility for their lives, especially when it comes to being in the service industry. So as you know, I'm a pharmacy technician, and I hear people every day that I work asking me, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Well, why didn't you take responsibility? You're out of your medication on a Friday afternoon, and I can't do anything for you because you didn't call me earlier. You are out of your medication because your doctor hasn't responded to us, but somehow that's our fault. You're out of your medication because the prior authorization hasn't gone through yet. You're out of your medication because you didn't call us earlier within the 10 business days that we asked you to call us. But the problem with this is that nobody's taking responsibility. They think it's my job to just be a mind reader and figure out when their medications are due. Do you know how many people I deal with in a day? I can't do that. But I find that it's more prevalent in this society that people don't take responsibility. They think it's everybody else's fault. They don't think it's their fault. They're not responsible. Only you are. They go into grocery stores and they expect things to be on the shelves, and when they're not, they're blaming the cashiers. Or because they can't get the seat they want at a restaurant, they're blaming the hostess. We need to take responsibility for ourselves. 100% responsibility. Whatever is happening in your life, I'm going to tell you, it is your fault. Whatever is happening in your life, the way it is right now, whatever's happened to you, no, you are not responsible for the trauma that has happened in your life, but you are responsible for how that triggers you and how you respond to it. And the reason you're in the situation you are today is because you're not taking 100% responsibility. And that's not a criticism. None of us are taking 100% responsibility for our lives in this society. We need to start, because everything is not everybody else's fault. Whatever is happening in your life is your fault. And you are the only one who can change it. So why do people not take responsibility for their lives? One is a fear of failure. So many people are afraid that making mistakes or failing in their endeavors is going to make them look weak. They hesitate to take responsibility because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. I'm famous for this. I am famous for not asking for help because I'm afraid that I'm going to look stupid. I'm afraid that people are going to think bad of me. And then there's also the victim mentality. People see themselves as victims, and they think that everybody else is doing things to them instead of, them taking responsibility. So we have to take responsibility. We got to stop acting like a victim and start acting like the hero of our own lives. Instead of going to watch the superheroes on television and in the movie theaters, we need to become our own superhero. We need to go from zero to hero. Because if we don't, we are going to still be in the same place we are right now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now. We are going to be in the same spot, and we're going to be stuck because we didn't take responsibility for our lives. And then we blame others. We blame others for what we didn't do. We didn't order our medications on time. So that causes a problem of us getting our medications. We blame the president. We blame the economy. We blame everybody else, and we don't take responsibility and figure out what we're going to do. Then we've got people who have a lack of awareness, meaning they don't see themselves as being the problem. They don't understand that they're the problem, and no amount of you telling them they're the problem is going to clarify that for them. And then we've got people who have low self-esteem, so they, just go with the flow, and they just agree to anything. And they don't believe in their ability, their capability of doing things on their own. They think they have to rely on others. Then you got people who are stuck in their comfort zone, and they refuse to get out of their comfort zone, and they do the same thing over and over again. They have the same routines, and they go the same way to work every day. They go to the same job every day. They don't do anything different. And we have people who rely on external validation. They're seeking approval and recognition from others, but they need to focus their responsibility onto themselves and not onto other people. And we have people who just procrastinate. They can't make a decision, so they don't make one, or they make it at the last moment. And then we have people who lack clarity. They lack a sense of purpose and direction, and it's challenging for them to take responsibility because they don't know what they want. And then we just have people who are overwhelmed. People who have too much going on in their lives, so they're overwhelmed, and they are paralyzed to make a decision, so they avoid it. And then we have people who have past trauma, so taking responsibility can trigger things in their lives, or they could have a mother who told them that they could never amount to anything, or they in the past have made mistakes and their father has criticized them, and so they don't make decisions anymore easily. But no matter where you are on the spectrum, you have to, from this day forward, start taking 100% responsibility for your life. Because that's the only way that you are going to make something of yourself. The only way you're going to go from zero to hero. That's the only way that you're going to have a better life, is when you take responsibility for what is going wrong in your life and fix it, or put solutions into place. And how do we take responsibility? We take responsibility by being self-aware. We need to begin reflecting on our lives and identifying the areas where we tend to blame external forces and others for our circumstances. We have to become aware, because that is the first step in taking responsibility. So where in your life are you not taking responsibility? Is it in your finances? Is it in your work life? Is it in your marriage? Where are you not taking responsibility for what is going wrong? Are you not taking responsibility by not looking at the numbers and seeing how your financial health is? Are you not taking responsibility for your marriage and giving it a grade and seeing how you can improve it? Are you not looking at where you are in your career and where you want to be, and figuring out steps in order to get to where you want to be? We have to own our choices. We have to accept responsibility for the choices we make, both good and bad. We have to understand that even inaction or indecision is a choice. So you decide to eat the cake instead of the pie. You have to own that decision. You decide to marry person A instead of person B. You have to own that decision. You decide to go with this job offer instead of that job offer. You have to own that decision. And not only do we need to own the decision, but we need to own the consequences that go with that decision. Because when we make our own choices, we accept the responsibility for the consequences that come along with those choices. But many times, we don't even want to make the choice. We allow other people to make the choice for us. We'll go along with the crowd, or we'll let the boss choose, or we will, just let the bank choose what's going to happen with our finances, or our credit card, or whatever. But we need to take responsibility. We need to take an assessment of our financial health, our marital health, our relationships, our careers. Every area of our lives, we need to make sure that we know where we are and what is going on. And we need to make choices to make things better. So we need to, make a plan to get out of debt. We need to make a plan to have a better marriage. We need to make a plan to have a better career. But we have to make decisions in order to do that. We need to choose to make it better. And then we need to stop blaming. Because we like to blame. Like something happens at work. And it's like, who did it? Did I do it? Did somebody else do it? But instead of blaming, we need to take responsibility and figure out what the problem is and how we can solve it. Retraining somebody or whatever needs to be done can be done later. But we need to, at the moment, take stock of what happened and how we can fix it, instead of blaming the person right away, because blaming is not going to help anything. Now, if you need to retrain somebody because they're consistently making the same mistake, that's a totally different thing, and you make that choice to do that later. But you don't do it at the time, and you don't blame people in front of other people. And then we need to set clear goals. You know how big I am on goals. But we need to define our goals and inspirations clearly. So, like I said, we need to take an assessment of where we are financially, where we are maritally, and where we are in our career. And we need to set clear goals on how we're going to fix the problems that are happening in our finances, in our marriage, in our career. We need to set clear goals, smart goals, specific goals, measurable goals, achievable goals, relative goals, and time-sensitive goals. We have to set goals in order to do anything in life. So let's say you want to get out of debt. How are you going to get out of debt? Are you going to set aside money every month to put towards that goal? Are you going to pay the minimum payments on all of these other ones and then chip away at one of the bigger ones? Or take care of one of the smaller debts and then get momentum and keep going from smallest to largest? Or are you going to go largest to smallest? That choice is up to you, but what are you going to do to get out of debt? Are you going to take on a second job? Are you going to figure out how to make money online in addition to your job, like a side hustle, in order to put more money towards that debt? How are you going to make a better marriage? Are you going to marriage counseling? Are you going to have date nights with your spouse? Are you going to actually speak to your spouse about it and communicate about her expectations and your expectations and, figure out a plan together on how to make your marriage better? Are you going to go for that promotion, or are you going to start your own job? Your own business. So if you're going to start your own business, what's that going to look like? And what is your first step? And what kind of goals are you going to set in order to be able to start that business? And when are you going to start it by? Because, many times we'll get this concept of this dream that, I'm going to just start a business. But there's no concrete goals to go with it. So it never happens. What kind of business are you going to start? When are you going to start it? Where are you going to have your offices at? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be offline? You have to figure these things out, because you're never going to take full responsibility for your lives until you start setting goals to get out of the position you're in right now. And then we need to take initiative. We can't wait for things to happen to us. We have to take proactive steps towards achieving our goals. We need to break down those goals into daily steps. What are you going to do today that's going to get you toward a better marriage? What are you going to do today that's going to get you towards a better career? What are you doing today to start that business? What are you doing today to have a better financial life and pay off those debts? What are you doing today to make a better life for yourself? And then we need to learn from failure. Too many times we will make a mistake and think that that's the end. But no, we need to learn from that mistake. We need to adopt a growth mindset, and we need to know that failure is just a stepping stone on the road to success. Because every failure is going to teach you something. But if you don't learn from those mistakes, learn from those stepping stones, you are not ever going to get to your goals. You're never going to get to a place where you are living the life that you want to live. And you might want to consider taking on an accountability partner. A person who is going to call you out if you're not taking steps towards your goals. Somebody who's going to call you out when you're blaming others and when you're not taking responsibility for your life. We can be that accountability partner for you. In the comments below, you can put your situation and we can help you out. And we can help you be accountable. But you have to ask. And then we need to manage our time better. Because too many times we procrastinate and we allow distractions in our lives. And it causes us to be stressed. And when we're stressed, we start to blame others. When we're stressed, we get into that victim mentality. When we're stressed, we tend to procrastinate and get distracted more easily. But the problem is that we need to manage our time. Plan out our time. Just like you're planning out your goals, you need to plan out your goals for the week or your day. You need to have a to-do list. Some list of what you need to accomplish. And you need to actually look at the month. What do you want to accomplish in your month? What do you want to accomplish in your week? What do you want to accomplish in your day? You need to plan. Like take a Sunday night and start planning your week, planning your month, planning, your year. But we need to know what we're doing and how we're going to achieve our goals. And we need to embrace resistance. Life can be challenging, and we can have unexpected obstacles arise, and we need to develop resistance. We need to stay positive in the face of adversity. We need to find something good in everything, because gratitude goes a long way. When we can find something to be grateful for, whether it's electricity or running water or a roof over your head, or clothes to wear. We need to find the good in every situation. What is good about the situation that is facing you right now? Is it your finances? Well, the good part is you have a job, or you have this business you're starting. A lot of people don't get to start their own business, don't even have the ambition to start their own business. They want to work for somebody else. And that's not a bad thing. Everybody's got their own life to live. But we need to find the good. Because when we can find the silver lining and the good, that's when we have a more positive attitude. It's when we decide that we're going to continue. Because the more you get knocked down, the more you got to get up. Because the more you have setbacks, the more your breakthrough is coming. But if we don't find the positive in every situation, we're never going to see the breakthrough when it comes. We're never going to see that miracle. We're never going to see that hope on the horizon. Remember, taking 100% responsibility for your life is a continuous journey. It's about being the captain of your own ship, navigating through life's storms and steering toward the destination you desire. By implementing these principles, you can start to transform your life and become the author of your own success story. Thank you for joining us here today on this transformative journey toward taking 100% responsibility for our lives. We hope you found the insights and strategies shared in this episode valuable and inspiring. Your engagement, questions, and stories in the comments section are always welcome. Keep sharing your experiences with us and each other as we all learn and grow together. Remember, it's never too late to start taking control of your life. By embracing this mindset of responsibility, you have the power to rewrite your story, set new goals, and embark on a path of self-discovery and fulfillment. And before we wrap it up, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you'll never miss an episode filled with insight and strategies for personal growth. As we conclude today's episode, always remember that you have the capacity to shape your destiny by taking 100% responsibility for your life. You're not only investing in yourself, but you're also inspiring those around you to do the same. So go out there, embrace your power, and create the life you've always dreamed of. We'll see you in the next episode, where we'll continue this incredible journey together. Until then, stay empowered, stay accountable, and stay tuned. And thank you for being you.
You have been listening to the Anna Gale Lines podcast. If you'd like to learn more about Anna Gale, you can go to annagalelines.com. It's ANNAGAILLYNES.com. And there you can download 2 free chapters of her book Unshakable Purpose. And you can also download her latest science fiction mystery novel called The Last Chance Station for free. You can also buy her fiction and nonfiction books on the website, Amazon, BN.com, Lulu, and many other online outlets. Sign up for the newsletter to keep updated as to what's going on in the world of the Anna Gale Lines podcast and Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast, her fiction podcast where you can hear installments of her novels. To follow her on social media, Lady Anna Gale on TikTok, Anna Gale Lines on Twitter, and Anna Gale Lines Artist on Instagram. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/author Anna Gale. Thank you for listening and thank you for being you.